No. Yep. 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 Sit. Yep. Sit. I know it's right there. That's good, girl. That's good, girl. All right. So today I got to know Luna a little bit as far as, well, let me start again. Luna. Yep. Sit. Yep. Today, Luna and I introduced a couple of new vocabulary tools and some new behaviors so that we can start to correct for her obsessive oral fixation that she has. Yeah, where she just has to try everything out in her mouth and see how it feels and what it tastes like. So to do this, the first thing I did was introduce what we call a marker. Now you might already be using one of these at home, whether or not you are familiar with the term marker. Basically, it's a word that indicates a reinforcement is coming her way. So the marker I chose to use today is yep. What it means is I liked what you just did. That behavior that you just performed is the right behavior, the right choice to make. And it means that a treat is coming your way. So right now she's not making some, yep, there you go. Right now she's not making some good choices because she was pulling, trying to counter surf. Yep, there she is. But when she does make a good choice, like focusing on me, giving me her eyes and moving towards me and then offering me a sit or a down, yep, there you go. Then you can capture that good choice with your marker of YEP, yep, before delivering a food reward or some affection or even playtime as reinforcement for the behavior, okay? Once we had this marker reliably introduced, I started using it to capture good choices that she made. We are working in a relatively, yep, good girl, relatively new environment right now. We've only spent about 5 minutes in this kitchenette area so far. So she's still very curious and eager to investigate it. And I'm noticing that counter surfing is a real problem for her here. And I'm wondering if you see that at home. So we can work on the off cue later. That's good girl. So once we started getting some reliable acknowledgement of the marker, yep, good girl, you'll notice when I say the word YEP, yep, good job, her head will whip towards me. Her head will pivot and she'll, whatever she was focusing on, she'll shift her focus back to me. I'm going to see if I can capture that for you here on video without accidentally reinforcing the wrong decision. Yep. Yeah, there it is. So she has figured out what yep means now. Yep, good girl. And so she will also show me that she understands because she'll start offering me known behaviors like sit, yep, down, yep. Now her down duration is a little rough. That's something else we can work on. She likes to do the doodle down up that I see so often from our doodle friends. But we can work on duration later. Today, I wanted to introduce the exercise called It's Your Choice, using just that one word, yep, and timing it just right. So she's sulking now because you might be able to see there are a couple of toys on the table behind us. And her absolute favorite that we learned today is the stuffed monkey. Surprise, surprise. It has stuffing in it that she can rip into and shred and swallow, which we don't like. So I'm going to show you what It's Your Choice looks like with a toy in the hand, okay? Look at. Yep, good girl. So I'm not going to say a single word. I'm just going to hold this toy at about shoulder height here. She cannot get to it. And what I'm waiting for is for her eyes to shift to my eyes. I want her to look to me. And that is when she's going to hear her marker. Yep, good girl. And when I issue my marker, I'm going to deliver food reinforcement well away from the toy, okay? So this is called the It's Your Choice. Yep, good girl. The It's Your Choice exercise. And this helps Luna learn, yep, that whatever it is that's motivating her, whether it's a toy or a piece of bark or a palm frond that she finds on the ground, yep, Looking to her handler in the face of that tempting distraction, yep, is what's going to be most rewarding for her in this moment, okay? As she gets better success with this, you can start to drop the toy in height. Yep, good girl. Very good. Very nice. And then this exercise also lends itself very nicely to the take it cue, because I can give her permission to have an item if it's safe for her to enjoy. Sit. Yep. Yep. Take it. There you go. So now she can enjoy the toy. She's going to work on it a little bit. And I'm going to show you how we're introducing the drop cue today. I'm not using a verbal cue. No, you can't walk away with it. No, that's the one rule. You're staying on leash. I know. I'm not using a verbal cue yet for this exercise. It's only a visual cue. And the visual cue is a closed fist. So what I'm going to do with this while she's enjoying her little monkey friend is, oh, good girl. Wow. Take it. There you go. So while she's enjoying her monkey friend, I'm going to lower this fist that actually has some treats in it into her line of sight. Yep. And the goal is for her to get curious about what's in that fist. And as soon as she releases her hold on the item that she was working on, I'm going to mark and open the fist to reveal the treats that are inside. Okay? So this is how we introduce the drop cue. It is what we call a visual cue. It's simply the visual, sight of a closed fist in her line of sight. And then you use your marker of YEP, to capture the moment that she releases the item she is holding onto with her mouth. Yep, that's a good girl. I know. In order to check out that closed fist and see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to repeat this one more time. Yep, good girl. Good job. Take it. Good job. Good girl. Oh, you had a little kibble hiding in there, huh? Do you want to take it? So at no point am I reprimanding her for picking this toy up. I have given her permission to take it and work on it. So for me to try and yell at her or start chasing her down for it is not really fair. I didn't set the right expectation with that. What I am going to do, good girl, is I'm going to show her my fist and then mark when she stops working on the item in her mouth in order to check that fist out, deliver the cookies while I take the toy away. Okay? So that's how to do It's Your Choice from the hand. Here's how we introduce It's Your Choice out in the real world. Yep. So we're going to move back and forth here. And we're going to approach this table. Yep. Good girl. And what I'm going to wait for is for her to look away from me and towards the table of toys. Yep. Good girl. That was a little tough. That was a little tough. It's the end of the day. We're kind of full. Treats aren't as motivating now as they were when we were first getting started. Yep, that was a good one. That was such a good one. So again, this is what we call an implied leave it. We are not using a verbal cue to prompt her to ignore the item. We're waiting for her to actually look at the item, acknowledge that it is there, and then use your marker to prompt her to check back in with you, the handler, and that's when you deliver the reinforcement and move away from the distraction, okay? The reason why this exercise is so much more valuable than a leave it cue is because you cannot constantly have your head on a swivel. Cannot. It's impossible for you to know exactly what she's going to want to put in her mouth at any given point. By practicing this implied leave it, this It's Your Choice exercise, you are helping her learn to control her own impulses without you prompting that control. She learns, and you can introduce this with palm fronds. As I said, you can introduce it with sticks. You can introduce it with toys that you find out on a walk or plastic bottles, things like that. Just start creating some sort of zigzag pattern near the item. Yep, good girl. Start creating maybe a back and forth movement on leash near the item. Anytime she looks at it, yep, and she gets a cookie. And you continue moving. Anytime she looks at it again, yep, continue moving, deliver the cookie. Yep, good girl. And what you're going to start noticing is that her stares get shorter and shorter. She'll stare at the object for maybe a second and then be like, where's my snack? I looked at it. Right now. Yep, good girl. And it doesn't even have to be a look back at you. It can be a look at the item and then just looking away from it. That still teaches the same lesson. She disengaged from that item that she was curious about. She maybe wanted to mouth, and you mark that moment and deliver some cookies, okay? We practice this outside with natural distractions. She actually, the reason why I'm mentioning a palm frond so much is because she found a palm frond and was really into it. So we worked on the drop exercise while she actually had the palm frond in her mouth. She did end up choosing the handful of treats over the palm frond. Good girl. And then we shifted from that drop exercise to it's your choice with her on leash while we walked in a bit of a circle with the palm frond about 6 to 10 feet away from us, okay? Anytime she looked at the palm frond, I immediately issued our marker of yep, good girl, and gave her a couple of cookies while we continued moving, okay? So this is how we build self-driven impulse control, all right? I also want to mention that she has a pretty reliable hand target on board. Yep, and what I mean by hand target, yep, good girl, is that she's willing to move towards an open palm and touch that with her nose. This is a great tool to have on board because we can build recall with it. We can help her learn to stay in a position as long as we need to while we maybe trim an ear or comb her out or give her a bath. So this is a great, very basic behavior, the hand target, for a lot of complex solutions. So if you're seeing her mouth at something that she really shouldn't be, if she's working on her leash while she's leashed up to you, if you see her pick something up, instead of panicking and trying to chase her down to take it away from her, try to show her this fist. Ideally, you want to go ahead and have some treats ready to go. Yep. And the minute you see her spit out the one item, yep, and she gets the cookies from the fist. Okay, that's how we're going to start working on the drop cue. We will be able to eventually introduce a verbal cue, but this is a very beginning stage of the exercise. So one thing to remember is that there are no words that accompany this fist. It is just the visual cue of this fist being shown in her line of sight while she works on another object. And then your marker of YEP captures the moment that she chooses to leave that object alone to see what's in the fist. Okay, I know, because the fist means good things. Yes, it does, smarty pants. Let me know if you have any questions about these exercises. You can also shift this It's Your Choice cue to live distractions, so other dogs, cats, etc. We can work on that later on down the line. But this is our very general introduction to impulse control and our marker, along with the more complex behaviors of leaving it and dropping it or taking the toy when she has your permission. Okay? You did so good today, Miss Ma'am. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You smarty pants. You smart girl.